the lens, I don't think anyone really asked for. I love the original 24-70 f2.8s. It might be my favorite 24-70 ever made for any system. And let's see how this one stacks up. Oh yes. Is that internal zoom? This video is sponsored by Imagine, and I will be editing all the images that you're seeing in Imagine. What Imagine is, automatic pattern recognition editing. I use it for all my wedding days, and if you are interested in getting started, I will give you 1,500 free edits in the link down below, as well as my profile, which is usually $250 US on its own. It is free to you if you sign up to become a paid Imagine member. We're gonna go take some photos. I'm gonna take a few with no flash, and then we're just gonna mess around with some off-camera flash for fun. It's a pretty overcast, boring light day. All right, f2.8 aperture means great in low light. So if you are a wedding and portrait photographer, it is a lens that you can use all day, which is really nice. We get out of the extended ISOs. So at 70, that's what the background looks like. It's really nice. And at 24, you gotta get a little closer to get that background, but it looks nice. Perfect. So one of the updates to this is that the autofocus is already incredible, and somehow it's gotten even better. I don't know what they've done, but I am very, very excited about this for photography, yes, but also for video. I have no concerns that this is just going to be perfect. Do you want to spin around so it has to track you? And yes, very, very nice. And do you want to walk this way? At 24. This is what my handheld Steadicaming looks like. So you can see the edges. They look pretty darn nice. And no LED, so you don't get to play your video games on there. So no more Frogger, no more Snake, just a function button. Just fine, 2 function buttons. And a click on and off for your function wheel up here. We also have 2 buttons on this side, full and limit for your autofocus, and also autofocus and manual focus. I love having that little slider there. It's really ergonomic where it's at. So if you are doing video, I would say that most of the time your autofocus is gonna do exactly what you want. Where it might be a problem is if I am locked off in a video shot like this and I see somebody about to pass in front and I know it's gonna go to them, at that point I just click into manual focus and I let them walk through the scene. You don't use the function buttons.
You could use it for, what could you use it for?
I don't know what's possible. What could we set the function? I think I'm gonna set this to aspect ratio. Yeah, I'm gonna remap my trigger button here. That turns your preview on and off for flash. And then this aspect ratio. So here we are in the dark and gloomy gray light, and we're just gonna make it sunset, right? There we go. Perfect. Now we're gonna be perfectly sunset. It does look legitimate. I'm gonna put this over your shoulder, and it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you got such nice warm light. And this is also a test to see how it flares, because I like interesting flares, but some people do not. So I'm gonna leave the flash actually in the frame. And this is also all shot at 2.8, so here's one at 24. That's what the flare looks like. And then all the way back at 70, there we go. Would you like the sun in front of you? Here, now Larissa is staring into a beautiful sunset. It looks like the sunset for real. Wow, so dynamic. Should we bounce the light off of something for fun?
Bounce it off of that thing.
What are we gonna bounce it off of?
The white container.
We're gonna bounce it off of this? All right, so I'm gonna remove the gel. We're going daylight. And Claire's gonna put it like right here. And we're gonna bounce off of this. Now booking meetings and events. Oh yeah, this is exactly the shot that I want. Go a tiny bit that way. Nice. Here we go, we're getting additionally creative. This is what we call the new exposure triangle, where your flash is in the frame, but bouncing off of here, lighting your subject, and you're using ambient as fill.
It's fill.
No more fill.
Do the star filter. How does it look on the star filter? Stop.
Who buys a 2.8 lens to shoot at f16? Okay, Tim says shoot this at f16. So we get the star. We picked like the worst location possible for this. It's too intense. It's too crazy.
But you could.
We got to do less. You could. You don't need to. We'll do some unnecessary bouncing off this here. 1/4 power. And let's see what it looks like the other way. I like a 24-70 for shoots like this, as well as travel and just general, I don't know, out in the world activities. For a wedding day, I would say that 24-70 is probably the most useful lens you can get. If you do watch the channel, you know I shoot a lot of primes. I like the really shallow depth of field look a lot, but if you do have a specific budget to spend, I would say that this is a much more versatile tool than going with the really expensive primes. Although even though the 1.8 Nikon primes are pretty amazing, I'm really, really happy with them, and the 1.4s as well. So I shoot usually a 35 1.4, 85 1.8 most of the day. Then I have an additional longer lens in my bag as well for ceremonies usually, or no, ceremonies, that's about it. It's the only time I use the 70-200 or 35 to 150.
What if someone's using the Taylor-Jackson method?
If somebody's using the Taylor-Jackson method available now, well, I think this is a bet, like, especially if you're just starting hybrid, I would say that this is a more useful tool because with primes, you have to be very aware, especially if you're learning what the Taylor-Jackson method is, doing photo video. So you do a highlight video as well as regular photography coverage on a wedding day. And if you have a prime, which I usually do, that means you have to be very conscious of doing your regular photography work and then moving around and getting different frames for your video. With this, you can just get those shots easy. You don't kind of move. You can get the wide shot, then you can get 35 and you can get 70 all in one. So it makes your life really easy. And also the rendering of this lens so far on the back of the screen, very, very nice. So yeah, I would say the weight and balance also on this Z5 II, it's kind of perfect. We now have official stats. This lens weighs 675 grams, whereas the old one weighed 805. So it's a small difference. It also doesn't extend, so if you are on a gimbal, it's just like the weight movement I feel like is pretty much zero. Like I can't feel anything. Also, when it comes to aperture blades, you get 11 in this, where you only had 9 in the previous version. What that means is it's basically just gonna give you more buttery and smooth autofocus background areas. The bokeh, which is gonna look a lot nicer, more pleasing, and less distracting. Although again, I had no problems with the original version, but happy to have it just a little bit better, this one. You also have a 77mm front thread as well, rather than 82. 82 is a little big. I think I bought all the 82 filters though. 77s are cheaper, or you can get a step down ring. We're getting a call. Nikon says that the motors, the autofocus motors in here are 5 times faster than the original 24-70, and they're SSVCM, which stands for Silky Swift VCM. Basically, these are the motors that, or even a VCM motor would be the ones in the bigger telephoto lenses, moving large pieces of glass back and forth really fast. And now it's in this really nice, easy to hold, well-balanced 24-70. There's also a 60% upgrade in if you're doing video and you're zooming while doing video, it's gonna hold, and it's just not gonna do anything that you're not expecting it to. So let's demonstrate that right now. Nice. And zooming out. Nice. And I'm guessing that there's probably very little focus breathing as well. So not a specific test since I'm not tripoded, but I don't see the frame edges doing anything crazy. So I'd say pretty minimal, if any, focus breathing. Also this click on and off, this is the first time Nikon's done this. I didn't realize that, but yeah. Just makes you have either a very smooth aperture. So if you're in video and you want that smooth transition, you can do it that way. Or if you want more of a clicking motion, you want to go between stops or parts of stops more accurately. I think as a photography person, I think I leave it like this so that I don't accidentally bump it too much. I actually probably disabled all these rings. Yeah, I don't really use them. It doesn't do anything. What can we set it to though? Something fun?
Make the shutter?
Can I make this the shutter? On the lens, you get every coating. The developer team was like, what kind of coatings do you want? And they said yes. So you get mesoamorphous, which is very exciting and very fun to say. Usually that's also reserved for the very, very expensive lenses. And now you have it in this. So you're basically just getting the best of the best of the best of everything currently available on this lens. They've basically taken everything that was good about the first lens and kept it, and then added literally everything else that Nikon has to offer right now, and made an incredible piece of technology. In Canada, this lens is priced at $34.99. I don't know what that converts to in the States. I guess it'll be a lot different. What do we want to do now? Let's just do straight backlit. So we're going right behind. So a lot of my portraits like this will be at 70. If I am photographing two people, I would say usually, you know what, honestly, like most zoom lenses, I'm either at 24 or 70. I feel like if I was to rank everything in Lightroom, the shots in the middle would equal the number of shots I either shoot at 70 or 24, because I guess maybe my brain is just prime shooter. I'm used to having two cameras, two primes, and that's what I like. I like the variation of that. It's nice. And Tim said it, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. What does that mean? All right, let's go over there where it's not tables upside down. All right, I'm turning off the light. Tim keeps trying to get me to make things turn to fire. Oh, we get a little train shot here. Life in downtown Kitchener with the Ion Express. Nice. So one thing that I do a lot while taking pictures is when somebody's walking at me, whether it's a couple, whether it's a solo person, I do zoom a lot. So I noticed that I was kind of going back and forth. And with the new motors, they've kind of been, I assume they were developed for video specifically, but they happen to fit that workflow very well for me as somebody that zooms very erratically, trying to get lots of different frames. And I think it's also trying to, at least on wedding days, trying to hide elements behind. I think as wedding photographers, a lot of us, our brains are just tuned to, like, if you see a pull station or a running man sign, you're just instinctually trying to hide it behind something so that it just doesn't appear and you don't have to edit it out. I feel like I use zoom a lot for that as well, consciously or subconsciously. If you're on one of the older Nikon cameras, like a Z6 original or a Z6 II, I would recommend going to a current version. We're recording this on the Z6 III. The Z5 II is probably my go-to for weddings when I'm a photographer only. And then when I'm doing video as well, Taylor Jackson hybrid method, you can buy it, it's available. I'm on the Z6 III for most of those days. And the reasoning for that is this one does 4K 60. But if you don't need to do that, then this is probably the one that I'd recommend. We'll do firewall.
Firewall.
We'll do a Jason Vincent firewall. I don't have a snoot to really grid it. I'm gonna have Clarissa in front of the flash stick on this side. It's just like a less good version of Jason Vincent. Go watch that full wedding day video if you want to see somebody else that's better at this exact thing. Do it better. Do you want to do an alleyway shot between U-Haul trucks?
Yeah.
It's just like band photography days all over again. Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna have you right about here. And we're gonna leave the orange gel on. It's gonna be crazy.
If you bring these mirrors in, you want your left bring.
Nah, everything is great. I have to go on an angle?
Gotcha angle nice and low.
It's like every 90s music video.
Oh, wow.
We're shooting MySpace portraits now. Now we're doing some on-camera direct flash. Now you have to walk towards me. I'm gonna lock to like 35 millimeters for this. And then I went to 24 for some. What the zoom looks like?
Oh, we
Fire
do
zoom?
bokeh. We should do bokeh.
We got bokeh.
We got bokeh?
We got lots of bokeh.
Like a bokeh?
We're gonna do a few bokeh examples here. So this is showing maybe something more, I don't know, normal that I would consider to be like a shot that I would take. And from the tree, the all new Nikon 24-70 f2.8 S2. Follow Clarissa.
This could be yours. Shipping in September.
We're trading spots here. You're up. You want to take pictures of me? We've traded. Nice.